Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about attitude. In that we are going to see definition, types, components, factors that determine our attitude, development of attitude, attitude and nurse. So first we'll see definition. So an attitude is a predisposition to react in a persistent and characteristic manner to some situation, idea, material, object, person. Attitude. You can call it as a settled way of thinking. So it is a predisposition, that means tendency to react in a persistent and characteristic manner to situation, idea, material, object, person. So how we are going to react with this in a characteristic manner to situation, idea, material, object, person. So that means our set of reacting to religious rituals or to our parents or to our teachers, how we are behaving, or to our profession or to other professions, these are the examples of attitude. So this is the definition. Next we'll see types of attitude. So in that we'll see positive attitude and negative attitude. So an attitude of respect towards elder, we can say that's a positive attitude. An attitude hatred towards certain community, certain person, so that is negative attitude. So we often remark that a certain person has a great attitude. We say how he has bad attitude or she has bad attitude. She should change her attitude. So what kind of this attitude? If it doesn't like that comes under negative. So media regularly reports topics like drugs, smoking, marriage, dowry, divorce, sexual harassment, assisted suicide, capital punishment, fast food, etc. So here it is any belief or opinion that includes an evaluation of some object or person or event. If we say that dowry, that's a negative. So it predisposes us to act in a certain way towards that object, person, or event. So our attitudes have a great effect on our behavior and have many other functions. So in this, positive attitude. Positive attitude helps you to cope up more easily with daily affairs of life, bring optimism into your life, and makes it easier to avoid worries and negative thinking. If you adopt it as a way of life, it will bring constructive changes to your life and makes them very happier, brighter, and more successful. So with a positive attitude, you see the bright side of the life and become optimistic, expect the best to happen. So it is in certainly a state of mind that is well worth developing. So this is about the positive attitude. So always you need to look for the positive, look for what is right in a person or situation instead of what is wrong. So that is about positive. Negative attitude. So here negative attitude is characterized by great disdain for everything, something who constantly points out negative in everything. A negative attitude is contagious and therefore avoiding people with one is the best way of prevention. Once you have a negative attitude, you will unlikely be able to recover and self fulfilling prophecy takes a hold. So avoid procrastination procrastination that which will cause what fatigue and leads to a negative attitude. So it's better to have a positive. So here I would say that develop an attitude of gratitude. That means uh, count your blessings, not your troubles. Always you have to count your blessing. So there are a lot to be thankful. Some people will feel that always they complain. For example, one has complained about my I have bad shoes till he met a person with no feet. That means he should be very grateful and thankful that he has a feet. So always have positive attitude. Next we'll see components of attitude. So there are three components of attitude we can see here, that is cognitive, affective, behavioral. Cognitive thinking, last time I have said affect means feeling, behavior. Next. So cognitive, what a person knows of it and his belief about it, that means awareness, knowledge, how he perceives the events and how he think about them, that will come under cognitive. Then affective, feeling, how he feels about a person, other, or object. So it feeling really shows concern. Next, behavioral, how he act, how he behave. Behavioral, that not only actions, that might be a verbal, non-verbal towards the objects. So for example, some people will be having suppose attitude to health. If some people have very strong positive feeling about healthy, I have to be healthy lifestyle they wanted to be, so that is a affective component. They will pay, that means he wanted to have healthy life, that means he is thinking, feeling, that will come under affective. They will pay attention to what is said and written about healthy eating, that means any magazine, so he'll get knowledge about that will come under cognitive component. And what he do next, one would expect such people to choose, like he have to eat, for example, brown bread when they go to shopping. So that is a behavior, action oriented. So this is the example is about only attitude to health. So these are the components of attitude: cognitive, affective, and behavioral. Next, factors that determine attitude. So what are all the factors which is determining our attitude? So there are primarily three factors that determine our attitude. They are environment, experiences, education. Environment, you can say home, school, work, media, cultural background. So that all comes under environment. So experiences, our behavior changes according to our experiences, that is definitely with the people or events in our life. If we have a positive experiences with a person, our attitude changes towards him positive. Is it vice versa? If he is negative towards us, so definitely will be a negative. Next, education. So knowledge strategically applied and translate into wisdom, ensuring success. So a teacher affects eternity. We are drowning in the information but starving for the knowledge and wisdom. So education teaches not only how to make a living but also teaches how to live. So these are the factors which determine our attitude: environment, experiences, education. Next, how to develop attitude. So we'll how it is developing. So firstly, our attitudes are acquired by us. Here, in acquiring them, we are influenced by our social environment. So influenced by a society, environment, by our own thinking, our own motives are our schooling, cultural norms, how we are from the childhood. So heredity plays only a very small part in the development of attitude, remember. So it mainly the environmental factors that are responsible for our development of attitude. So here we are influenced by our society, environment. Early in life, a child's attitude are shaped primarily by the parents. So family is the first place for the formation of attitude. during the period of our age 12 to 30. It's a critical period. A person's attitude takes the final form. The major influences during this period are a person's peers. So, group who are sitting with them. The information received through various media and education. Here only will get educated. Here we have friends, peer group. So, after 30, it change very little except that there is a tendency to become more conservative. We can, however, modify the established attitude by changing our perception. So, next, attitude originated in a family, further strengthened by peer group, playmates, and neighbors. So, here, family is the first place, as I said. Parents begin the information, flow the forms of belief and attitudes about the thing. Information provided by the parents in the earliest stages of life are very difficult to undo, and a child is likely to internalize the attitude of people whom he like or whom he wishes to please. So here onwards it start our attitude. A child tends to reject attitude of people whom he dislike. So these are attitudes are always accompanied by strong feelings which are called as sentiments also. So like how we develop our attitude. Next, attitude and the nurse. So finally, as a nurse, how you should be with the patient. So first is the nurse should try to undergo her patient's attitude. So the patient, some of them enter the hospital ready and willing to cooperate, and others enter with the afraid or resentful of ideas of receiving treatment and to the rigidity of the ward routine. So here we can see favorable or unfavorable attitudes may be the results of their own previous experiences in the hospital. So this may be result of also insufficient knowledge of what is going to happen to them when they are in the hospital. So nurse only the one who have to understand their attitude. Next is that the nurse should try to find out the causes of unfavorable attitude and should change them into favorable, because favorable attitude help in a treatment and recovery. She can do this by providing better experiences, by adequate explanations, by giving them a feeling of security and self confidence, by means of efficient and skillful care, assuring them and giving them a sense of being at peace by exercising patience and not being rushed. So that's how nurse have to maintain her. And the nurse needs to develop and cultivate professional attitude which will contribute to her success in her work. Always as a nurse should have positive and should be helpful for the patient. So like how she can develop in her life. So this is about the attitude. So we have seen the definition, types, components, factors that determines our attitude, development of attitude and the nurse. If you have any kinds of doubt, please message me. Thank you.